Hello ladies and gentlemen, Rapport here, and today I will try to make a shorter video for 5 minutes. So this is a quite interesting game between Caruana and Richard Rapport, who is having quite good tournament, and Fabiano is not doing very well. Unfortunately, he's down, I think, more than 10 ranking points, and he's basically around place 5 of ranking system. So Fabi started with c4, e6, quite interesting choice for English opening. The main line is e5. And the problem with c4, I think, is that black has so many setups that you're not really ready for all of them. Let's put it like this: knight f6 and e4. So white takes more control of the d5 square, and they also threaten at some point to play e5. c5 taking the d4, e5, and knight to g8. It looks a bit scary, but I must say that when the center is closed, you can make these moves backwards. d4 takes, knight to c4, and queen f4. And already Caruana is thinking. He spent about 10 minutes just on move 5, so everybody is on his own. Queen f4 is the best move. d6. Black, their problem is that they don't have space, and this pawn on e5 takes all the squares, so black naturally wants to exchange it. No need to take, of course, because then you develop black's pieces. Better to develop your own pieces. Takes, and Fabio proposes exchange of queens. Rapport took and played f5. In this position, I think Fabi should have taken this knight, but this is like philosophy of chess. Yeah, when you give up 2 bishops, then and you don't win or you lose. So probably because of these 2 bishops, but these pawns are really bad. Fabi decided not to play it like that. He attacked the. He played castling. And knight e5. It's not a blunder, because if you take, so white takes the rook on h8. So knight to f7. Naturally, you want to get rid of this bad knight. Takes here. Again, taking is not possible because of this, winning the rook. So Fabi took. King e7. When you're playing without queens, you prefer to keep the king in the center. However, I'd say that when I play the endgames, you should consider, yes, sometimes the king in the center is creating a lot of problems for black. But in this position, these dark squares are there is no dark square bishop, so you can just leave your king in the center. g5. I think, never take this plan. I'd play something like a5 and bishop a6. Yeah, but I like how Rapport handled this position. I think it's engine says that it's equal. However, I take white here. I think white has better position because of this good knight. It can go to c5, and it will, and this bishop is pretty bad, and also and a lot of weaknesses in the center, but Rapport just plays with pawns, and his queenside is not developed, and still engine says that he's doing very well. Knight to c5, very good square for the knight, obviously. These 2 squares are connected, and Fabi, I think, would never take a draw here. h4, and this all is really good stuff, yeah. By Rapport, engine just likes how black handles this. It's actually, in the end of the day, it's like 3 against 2, yeah. And this pawn is, I don't know, it helps, obviously, but somehow black has these maneuvers to create a passed pawn, and white just didn't find a good plan to for their own offense. G4, knight to e5. So if white takes, then these pawns become more dangerous. So Fabi played rook to d4, and unfortunately it was a critical mistake by white because they're losing a pawn, but in very strange way. So he took, obviously white takes the knight, thinking that black takes, then they're basically white is much better. But e5, intermezzo move, attacking the rook, so rook has to move, and pawn takes. Black has a lot of islands, and these pawns are doubled. Again, it doesn't seem for me that black is so much better, but engine says that black might be already close to winning. And rook h6. Engine suggests to move the bishop to e4, and says that after g4 h3, this pawn just goes to h1, and bishop from e4 and f3 just supports this pawn, and black is close to winning. So Fabi took this pawn, and they exchange everything. And finally, on move 29, he develops his bishop. So it's really not the move, not what you learn in chess school. Yeah, you should develop your pieces. And Rapport, he's known for playing really weird chess. And he actually won this position pretty quickly. G4. Again, all these ideas with main idea is to play G3, and when pawn takes, to play H3. And the problem is that H1 is the light square, and when you put the bishop on E5 and D5, then you can just control this square. Check. King moves up, stops the pawn, and this move is not the worst, yeah, but so probably white is complete zugzwang right now, that they have to play this. Yeah, you want to keep your king here to protect this pawn, to protect f3, to go to f2, but Fabi plays like back rank. And this idea is in the area, so if you take, then h3, and you can't really stop h2. So unfortunately, he has to play like this, h3, and rook to d8. Maybe a move of the game. Just there are other moves which winning, but if white takes here, then b takes. G takes h, and h1 is inevitable. So Fabi played this, and after rook, bishop to f3, threatening mate, white gave up. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.